Good evening from Bali, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I'm doing a little bit of a later video because I've been contemplating and studying and understanding and reflecting on the time of year that it is here in Bali right now. And time of year, I mean, there is a particular festival that is being celebrated right now, or very soon, I should say. There's preparations for this festival happening. And this is the period of Galungan and Kuningan, or Kuningan. Galungan is this festival that everyone is preparing for. So certainly where I'm staying, there's a lot of talk about it and a lot of preparations in terms of offerings being made and just a lot of awareness. There's lots of trips to the temple for loads of people around. I'm certainly seeing lots of people preparing for this time, and of course I've read all about it and definitely connecting myself to the energetics of it. And you might be more familiar with Ash Wednesday has just recently happened, and yesterday for us here in Bali. But again, this is interesting that this is coinciding at the same time too. But I would also say that Galungan and Kuningan happen twice a year. And this is a time of a victory of good over evil. So that's one way to look at it. Another is it is about the time of understanding the success or the winning of dharma over adharma, which is doing the right thing versus not doing the right thing or doing the not right things. So this is, again, this whole idea of good over evil. And we can see that Easter, which is the preparation time, is Ash Wednesday for preparation for Easter. And Easter is also about recognizing Christ and understanding the message he was bringing to our world too. Now this particular period in Bali, this Galungan time, this is also a time for people to remember their ancestors. So it's believed that ancestors come to the earth during this time and their families are welcoming them and showing respect and creating foods and honoring gods. So basically spirits that are coming back in this time. And then the Kuningan is actually the celebration time of when the spirits go back to the other realm. And this is interesting again when we look at Jesus Christ in terms of time on earth and time away from earth, and yet there's this connection in Christianity of being connected with that spiritual side and how it comes through us too. This is also the same, I would say, in terms of Galungan and Kuningan, and this idea of remembering the divine energies. Now, I work a lot with energy work, and I also work a lot with communication. And all of this ties into Vedic principles. So when we look at dharma and adharma, so doing the right thing. So even when we think of remembering ancestors, remembering, even if people are thinking of gods here in Bali, or people are thinking of God in general, if we think about Holy Spirit, whether we think of the universe as this divine energy, any of that is this gratitude, appreciation, and respect for it. And this is also, when we look at it from Buddhist perspective, it's about this balance of the not only the individual, but the individual stemming to or spreading to the family, and then the community, and then the country, and then the world, and then the universe. And this is the same, just looked at as different days in these different traditions. And I'd like us to focus on this idea that we're all looking at balance and how can we balance. And this then brings me back to how are we communicating our balance. And one of the things that people notice, we certainly know that when there are wars happening, and there are wars happening, we see the physical effect people are having on each other. And that physical level of action doesn't happen until a lot of thinking has happened before that physical level. And a lot of thinking happens based on what we create in our own minds. And then this creation in our own minds then can either bring gratitude for things that are here and things on the other side, which I believe this time is a very useful time to remind us of this. It's also something that we do every day or can do every day. This gratitude and appreciation and respect for whether living or non-living beings, whether holy or whether family, which of course I believe every family member has divine that they're carrying within them. All of our friends have it. Everyone, every single person has this divine energy flowing through us. And as we carry this, can we behave in a divine way? Because these times, whether we look at Ash Wednesday, whether we look at Christmas, whether we look at Eid in Islam, whether we look at any particular tradition, will have particular days to remind us about this, that remember the importance of things that are here and things that have been passed, or people that have passed, and the messages that they've left for us. So I believe that human minds have then created, this is an important day because this is when this happened, yet time and space does not really exist if we look at it from a quantum physics level. If we understand this, that any single day that we can do this is a wonderful thing, is to honor the people that we have lost and to honor the people that are here. And so today, again, in this time of Galungan this year I believe starts on February 28th and finishes around March 9th, I believe. And it's just a time frame, it's a general idea for our own minds to understand that this is the time that these energies are coming here. Now, if we think of this as every single day, every single moment, because of that time-space awareness, this is a wonderful time to be reminded, not only by everything around us, by the visual things that we see, by the actions that we take. What are we thinking in this time? So what are we creating? Are we thinking of gratitude and appreciation? Are we thinking of loving dharma? Are we thinking of loving and doing and speaking and thinking the right things? Are we doing this? Because I believe all of these traditions, all spiritual traditions, really encourage this. And yes, there are particular time frames that we're all encouraged to join in these thoughts. And certainly I feel that when a lot of energies are thinking the same thoughts or feeling the same love or compassion or gratitude, when that is happening, there's quite a large energy that is shared. And this happens all around the world in all sorts of different traditions, through all sorts of different religions. Yet we have a responsibility right from the individual. So let's say if someone does all of the acts, you probably know this. I know a lot of people that are watching me might be more from North America. And so I'm happy to be sharing that this time is happening in Bali so that you can learn something about Bali here. But we might think of something that we're more familiar with, like Easter and Christmas are the two times in the year that Christians are drawn to, oh, think about God or remember this time. And what has happened is it's become much more commercial, and then it's become much more about, as my decorations on my home as nice as my neighbors or a little bit better or maybe not as good, so lots of comparison. And it's totally, quite a bit, and I think a lot of people would agree with this, lost the depth of meaning. And from each individual person thinking about what is the important thing I can do for dharma in this situation. And again, just this being brought to our attention of this is a time that we can do this. And then human minds and commercialism and TV and internet and lots of advertising and greed and a change of focus. So remember, this is also from my last video, I've mentioned how we're in what's currently called the Iron Age. If we come back, that we know that we're on the cusp of between Iron Age and Golden Age. And remember, as we move into the Golden Age, let us remember these spiritual traditions. Let us remember Native Indians in North America, whether Hindus and Muslims and other countries and Christians, Europe, everywhere is celebrating something that reminds us of what's most important. And we don't need to wait till those special occasions to actually feel it in our hearts. Today, because it's Galungan time very soon here, and because preparations are happening, this is so on my mind of how is it that we think of things. So people can go to a temple here, and you might be doing this in your own tradition, wherever you might be going, whether it's church, it's a mosque, it's your own home temple, doesn't matter where. What is the feeling that you put into this? Is there this true appreciation for souls that have helped us to this point, helped us evolve as a society, as humankind, as a cosmos, which is also expanding, and we're contributing to it. Now, as we help this expand from our own efforts, are we expanding in the things that are wonderful? Do we think about how good this experience is, how good a single anything is? If you're making food to take to a temple, even here, or if you're making food at your own home, are you putting the love into it because of all of the additions of energies that have created it? Not just your hands making it, which is very useful, definitely, and very beneficial and very giving. Not just your walking that takes it to whether your family that you're feeding or whether a temple that you're feeding others. Not only that, but all of the energies that have allowed us to do this. And then do we share in the generosity of that divine energy that comes through us? Or do we say, this is mine, that's for my family, this is what I have, this is for me? Because then we're not actually modeling what has been taught to us. Today I leave you with that thought, and I want you to know that again, there's so many different days that we can do this. In fact, I would encourage it every day, and certainly starting the day with this centered awareness of who we are, that I am divine energy, I am grateful, I am giving back to the world that which has been given to me and through me. This, I believe, is the central theme of all spiritual traditions and religions, and I hope today and every day you will bring it to your mind. Today I'm not sharing any quotes with you, but I'm hoping that you'll have some awareness to reflect on. I will put a link to a great webpage that I found that is describing Galungan and Kuningan, and you can read about it if you'd like. And that's just again for my intention to share with you, whoever is watching, about what this is about, what this time is about. But I also would encourage you to look within to see what is it about the things that matter to you most, and what do you give back to show that you care and appreciate what matters most. Today I share love with you, and I hope that you feel it. I hope that you get some learning from this video, and I hope you have a fabulous day or night ahead. Remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.